If you've ever sent a Dropbox link to a client and then shut your computer off and gone to bed before the file could fully upload, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hi, I'm Ryan Thomas with 8Dio, and this video is the product walkthrough for the Century Ostinato Woodwinds Volumes 1 and 2. And in this video, we are just going to explore the library. I'm going to show you how it interfaces with the other libraries in the Century Ostinato series, which so far are the brass and the strings. And it's just a really cool series of libraries, and the whole philosophy behind them is to give you maximal realism with passages that involve a series of short notes or phrases that are comprised of short notes. There's just a little bit of that magic that happens between notes, kind of like legato, not quite, but it does give you a more lifelike result than just stringing together some samples of, individual short notes. So I love the philosophy behind the libraries. They're super easy to use. It's really easy and fast to just get, really beautiful and lifelike results with these libraries. So what I'm going to do is show you most of the articulations, and then we're just going to dive into some contextual examples involving just the woodwinds, and then the woodwinds combined with the strings as well as the brass. So I'm here with Watson, my faithful and trusty composing companion, my Open 14, and my warm tobacco scented candle, and we're just going to have a good time. Join me as we explore Century Ostinato Woodwinds Volumes 1 and 2. So let's begin by reviewing the interface and just talking about the different patches that come with the library. So if you queue up any of these four, it's just going to pull up an empty articulation set, and then you can build your own custom key switches. Or if you don't want to mess with the key switches and you know exactly what articulation you want, you can just pull up one of these individual articulations. And I feel like the controls are fairly self-explanatory. You've got all these mic positions, some built-in reverb, and a basic EQ. So it's a nice, clean interface, very easy to use. And yeah, let's go ahead and just start demoing some instruments here. And we're going to start off with the Staccattissimos. So in addition to all of the patterns that the library comes with, they do give you both Staccatissimo and Marcato samples that are just individually sampled if you want to use those. So this is the Staccatissimo bassoon. And this is the Marcato bassoon. All right, and let's check out our flute. So this is the Staccatissimo flute. And this is the Marcato flute. All right, let's check out the clarinet. So this is the Staccatissimo clarinet. And this is the Marcato clarinet. All right, and finally we've got the oboe. So this is the Staccatissimo oboe. And this is the Marcato oboe. So those are the individual shorts for each instrument. Let's go ahead and check out some of the ostinato phrases here, which are kind of the heart and soul of the library. So we're just going to start off really granular here, and I'm going to let you hear every articulation kind of in isolation, and then later on we are going to hear them in context and kind of see how they work together with each other, as well as with the other ostinato series of libraries. And we're going to start off here with the tuplets. So at 180, these are going to be quarter notes, but you can, of course, change that using the speed knob. So at 2x, they would be eighth notes, and then at half speed, they would be half notes. So this is just the bassoon. And then these are all the woodwinds together on that same articulation. Okay, so that is the regular tuplet, and then you've got the fast tuplet, which at 180 is going to be an eighth note. So this is the oboe. And then here is everything together. All right, now let's check out the triplets. And then these are the triplets with all the woodwinds. And then these are going to be the fast triplets, which at 180 are going to be eighth note triplets. And let's use the clarinet for this one. And then here are all the woodwinds together on the fast triplets. All right, now these next few articulations are going to be longer ostinato phrases that are more pulse-like. So the agile slow are basically going to be staccatissimo in series. So they've actually recorded the player playing a series of staccatissimo notes. So you get that just a little bit of magic between each note. And let's go ahead and use oboe for this one. And unlike the previous articulations, which were velocity sensitive, these are actually going to respond to the mod wheel. So let's listen to all of the woodwinds now on this articulation. So you can see how the CC1 data affected the dynamics there. It's actually crossfading between different samples of dynamic layers. And this next articulation is the Agile fast, and these are going to be eighth notes. And let's use the clarinet for this one. And these are all the woodwinds together on that articulation. And then we've got the Agile very fast, which are going to be 16th notes. And let's try this one on the flute. And now let's hear all the woodwinds together on this one. Okay, now these next two articulations, instead of giving you a ta at the beginning of each note, they're actually going to give you a da. So let's check out the flowing slow. So let's hear how this sounds on the bassoon. And now with all the woodwinds together. And then finally, we've got the flowing fast, which is going to be quarter notes. And again, you've got that nice da type tonguing. And let's hear this one with all the woodwinds together. And now you've heard all the ostinato patterns that come in the library, and in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can mix and match these to create some compositions. And right now, I want to take you through the runs. This library also has a really extensive catalog of runs, so let's check some of those out. So I think I'm just going to show you the flute runs for the sake of time. Just know that all of the articulations in the library are perfectly symmetrical. So the 1 octave major scale run in the flute is going to be the exact same length as that same run in the oboe, bassoon, and clarinet. And you get the exact same kinds of runs. So again, you've got that symmetry there. So you don't have to worry about that awkward situation where different runs are ending at different times. And you've got basically 4 different kinds of runs for each type of scale. You've got a 1 octave run, and you've got a 2 octave run, and then you've got a slow run, which was recorded at 110 BPM, and then you've got the fast run, which was recorded at 150 BPM. So this is the 1 octave major scale run that was recorded at 110 in the flute. And in case you didn't notice, the pitch wheel controls whether the run is going to be ascending or descending. So this is the 2 octave slow major run. This is the 1 octave fast major scale. And then this is that same scale, but 2 octaves. So this is going to be the 1 octave slow harmonic run. This is going to be the 1 octave fast harmonic run. This is the 1 octave slow melodic run. And this is the 1 octave fast melodic run. And then this is the 2 octave melodic fast run. So again, there are a couple more runs, but that's actually most of them, and you kind of get the idea by now. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out some of these contextual examples of the entire woodwind section playing together, where we are mixing and matching articulations to actually create some little compositions here. And it's a lot of fun in this library to have different instruments playing different subdivisions. And of course, you'll tend to kind of use the tenor and the bass instruments to play those longer subdivisions. So here we've got the bassoons just on the tuplets, and you can see all of the articulations here in the instances. So, just follow along with those. And here's another one. And just to illustrate the point that having those ostinato phrases gives you a lot more realism than trying to program the same phrase with just a series of short notes, I've gone ahead and prepared a version of this clarinet part using just the staccatissimo, and you can see what that sounds like. And just compare that to the original, where we've actually got the triplet going into those staccatissimo notes. So again, you've got this one. Versus this one. So it's just a little bit punchier, and you've got that little blur between the notes. And, you know, it's subtle, but your ear definitely can pick up on those nuances. So you can hear how well these work together as a section. Now let's see how these work with the Century Ostinato brass and strings. Again, you know, all the libraries in the series lock in together really well. They've got that symmetry between all the articulations. This one here is a little bit more kind of experimental, a little bit more pulsy. Would work really well with like some synths, maybe some percussion. Let's check this out. Yeah, so you can get a little bit experimental with these. So, you know, you can use them in a more traditional context. You can use them to create something a little bit different. And finally, we've got this last example here. So there are just so many different ways that you can use the library. You can use it in a more traditional context to maximize realism, not just out of your ostinato lines, but also, you know, with the tuplets, with the triplets. You know, if you try to program those using individual, you know, short notes, it just doesn't sound the same as a player actually playing a triplet or a duplet, you know, playing one of those phrases. Or, of course, you can use it in a more experimental context. I think they work well, like as, you know, pulses, kind of like you would use like a repeating synth for. And of course, they just lock in really well with the other Century ostinato instruments. So I hope this was helpful. Hope you had a good time, and I want to thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.